Hello there, welcome to Prequel, Sequel, Requel, the show where we pick a film or a franchise and give it a prequel, a sequel, and a requel with a panel of movie-loving comedians. I'm going to call them all comedians tonight. They are all comedians in their own right. Tonight's film is the Disney Pixar film Soul. It's quite a newbie for us, really. We're used to doing 80s classics. I say classics, some of them are terrible, but there we go. Right then, we're not going to mess about tonight. I'm going to bring the panel straight in. First of all, he's here every week. He's your friend and mine. He's a comedian in his own right. It's Eddie French. Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
I think they're good. Yeah. How are you?
How are you?
All right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks.
Good.
So, sorry. I'm just trying to share this online. So
I'll tell you what, we'll both do a bit of admin while we wait. There we go.
Look, I've done it now.
There you go.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we just
good.
had some announcements from Boris, haven't we, about when gigs can start again?
Apparently, we could be doing gigs in June, back end of June.
Maybe even before, if we can find a pub car park. You never know. We will see. We will see.
That's when people are going to be able to that's when there's going to be no more restrictions on social interaction at all. So that's the only time you can get a proper audience in a room.
Right.
So
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll be able to do all the stuff that we used to do over a year ago on stage, like just kissing each other and doing a dry bumming. Remember our shows?
Yeah, I remember our shows. Yeah,
that's YouTube.
That's the discount comedy checkout. Quick plug before we even start tonight. Then you can go watch that if you want to see us all doing that.
Go there, and if you're watching on YouTube, then you should be able to find the. You'll find all of the videos of that, or a lot of them anyway, if you just subscribe to this channel that you're watching on YouTube. Twitch, we'll be putting some of those up as soon as we can, and Facebook, you can find a lot of them as well. I'm just saying.
Bloody hell, we usually do the plugs at the end of the night. People are going to switch off. Right, speaking of YouTube, I'm going to bring our next panelist. I'm going to bring her in straight away. She says she's got a YouTube channel starting. That's my link there, you see. I've actually got a good link here for once. Right, she says she has a YouTube channel every week. Every week we ask her, and she never comes up with the goods. Is tonight going to be different? We don't know. It's your old friend of mine, Natalie Smeaton.
Did you just come up with a good link for me? Oh,
I did. God. Yeah, I had to make up for last week's because you were a bit cheeky, wasn't it, last week?
They're usually either a bit cheeky or you just sort of tail off. So coming on our next guest, Natalie. So I'm happy. I'm happy either way, mate.
Good.
Sounds good to me.
Have you got anything for us this week, YouTube wise, or are you just save it till the end? Don't tell us. I love waiting for that every week. I love waiting for your to tell us every week that notes coming for us. Are you all right?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I've got a drink of water. I'll be good.
Good. All right. Lovely. What have you been up to this week?
Not much, to be honest. I was off last week, so first day back to work today. So,
how many times mentioning you were off? We know you were off. God, how many times?
So, did I tell you I was off last week?
You told us 6 times, I'm sure, last week you were off. I was like, all right.
Did I tell you I were off?
You told us you were off, yeah.
Okay.
While you were doing loads of shots that had like whipped cream on them and like they were on fire, and she was like, I'm off work.
Yeah.
Very good. Right then, let's bring our guest in tonight. Waiting in the wings now. With no expense spared tonight again. We've brought her back. She's already done the show once, so she knows what she's doing, which is fantastic. It's this lady, what can I say? Comedian, singer, dancer. She does it all, an all-rounder, this one. It's our lovely friend, my old friend, Sadie Wilde. There you go.
Hi.
I nearly said you not your stage name then. I nearly said your real name, which I didn't want to. I nearly do that every time. I've got to watch myself, watch my mouth.
I know.
How you doing? You all right?
You can't call her real name because Equity will be after you if you say that Judi Dench is on the show.
Yes, that's true. Sorry, how are you doing? How are you keeping?
Doing well. A little bit flabbergasted by the current statements by our esteemed leader, because I don't know what they really mean.
No,
I don't know.
It's
just means the kids are going back to school too.
Yeah, it's a minefield, isn't it? I just watch it and go, oh, all right. whatever. Let's get on with some else. And hope for the best. That's why we're doing this on a Monday night. So thank you for joining us again. You actually picked the film this evening. A favorite of yours, Pixar, Disney.
Soul. Yes. I mean, it's fairly new. It's probably the newest film I've seen, but I think it just has a lot to unpack. So
it has, yeah. Why not, indeed? Brilliant. So if you're watching along with us, thank you very much. You're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch tonight. You can leave a comment and we'll read those out as we go. Feel free to interact with us on the show. You can ask us some stuff or have a bit of a laugh, with us in the comments. And you can also vote on each round. If you've never seen the show before, what will happen is these guys will all pick, they'll do a prequel, a sequel, and a requel in that order for the film Soul. And then we'll all vote for the favourite one for each round. So it's 3 rounds, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. But first of all, before any of that, I'm going to read out the DVD box. It was available on DVD, believe it or not. It wasn't just Blu-ray. They did bring out. I actually did a bit of research. Thought, I wonder if you could get this on DVD, or have they scrapped them all now? But they did bring it out on DVD. So I'm going to read the back of the box. This is a bit about the film, just in case you've not seen it. But I'm sure you'll pick it up as we go anyway. Here we go. Soul introduces Joe Gardner, a middle school band teacher whose true passion is playing jazz. He's increasingly feeling like his lifelong dream of being a jazz musician is not going to pan out. Just when Joe thinks his dream might be in reach, a single unexpected step sends him to a fantastical place where he's forced to think again about what it truly means to have soul. That's where he meets and ultimately teams up with 22, a soul who doesn't think life on Earth is all it's cracked up to be. So there you go. There's a bit more to it than that. And they fall back down to Earth, and Joe goes into the cat and 22 goes into his body. And then there's a bit of the old switcheroo goodness, like in films of old.
I imagine it happened on a Friday.
Yeah, Freaky Friday, all that. Yeah. Like Father, Like Son. Is that one of them? Kind of, isn't it? It's just
13 again. Is that kind of?
Yeah, all that kind of big. No, Big's not one.
No, it's not
Big's not
big.
one. It's not big, is it?
Oh, but that's a
big,
good one. A good film. Yeah.
So we've done
Incredible
big.
Voyage.
Yeah. Right then. So let's get the banner up for the prequels. We're going to start off. Let's get straight into the round. No messing tonight. Let's do this. Is everybody ready for this?
Oh, I was born ready for this, Lum.
Good. All right. Was that you saying that, or the cat?
I'm the cat. She's out of control.
Oh,
that's what happens. That's what happens in the film.
Nat's holding a microphone up. I thought she was trying to cover her mouth so it looked like the cat was talking. I was born ready for this.
Well, no, it's absolutely not. It's actually because she's purring, and I didn't want it to be like.
All right. Well, try not to do too much, Nat, because it's making us all go crazy with noise.
What?
Jesus. All I can hear is it's fine. It's fine. When I was reading my DVD box out, it was fine. It'll fine, Nat. Don't worry. Technical glitch already, so it's fine. Right then. So let's crack on with the prequels. Oh, hang on. We've got another comment there. Big TM bot. Thank you very much for coming in. Like vice versa. Yeah, we missed it. Well done. Thanks for watching. You're watching all the shows at the moment. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Very, very nice of you.
From last week.
Yeah, cool. Right then. Excellent. Let's crack on then with the prequels. We're going to go with Eddie first. I'll put you a minute on the clock. Beep.
Fancy clock you've got there, buddy.
It's a digital one this week.
As opposed to the egg timer you've had for the
I've got one of them big wall ones.
Jeez, you're wasting your time. Your minutes
started. I started the clock. I can't rewind it now. That's it.
The cat is small. The end. No.
All right.
Okay, so Ray Gardner lives and breathes music. Behind a keyboard is where he comes alive. And he and his new wife, Liebe, she absolutely adores him. He adores her. After a time, Liebe becomes pregnant, and the small amount of money that Ray pulls in from piano won't be enough to support a family of 3. With this in mind, he goes and gets a job in a warehouse. It's not pleasant. It's not good. It leaves him too tired to practice or perform. But he's just remembering, every time he gets a paycheck, then he puts like a new crib in the thing. He's painting the stork on the wall. It's all going to be nice and all that stuff. But one day he works at, let's just say it's a warehouse for a company named after a big forest, right? And because there's no safety involved, he falls off a very tall platform and finds himself in the afterlife. He pleads to return because this just can't be his time. It absolutely can't be his time. And so the Jerrys get told, which is very strange for an English person to say that because it sounds like you're talking about the Germans in the First World War. I'm not, but the Jerrys are convinced that maybe it isn't, and that there is an oversight. Sometimes these things happen. It was a different Ray Gardner. So the Jerrys check with Terry, and he can't get back to Earth because he's only half a soul. They had no idea. They were like, "How is this half a soul?" And so they go around, and then they hear some music. They see the other half of Ray's soul is playing on a piano already in heaven, having already just skipped there. He's playing piano, and Ray needs the other half to return to Earth. The jazz soul says that he's happy there. He's got everything he needs. He's got a piano, nothing else, doesn't need it. However, it's very clear that the jazz soul soon stops being able to play. And Jerry's sort of non-jazz soul, Ray's non-jazz soul, just sort of stops enjoying the idea of music altogether. It just doesn't get it. And they realize that without the jazz in your life, you're not inspired to carry on living. And without your life, you've got nothing to play. It was, I can't remember who was it who said it, but if you don't live it, it can't come out your horn. So they realize that they can't exist like that without music. They rejoin and return to Ray's body in time for him to join Leva as she gives birth to Joe. He tells her that he can't carry on working in that place. He has to play piano. That she and his little Joe are going to inspire him to play, and playing celebrates them in the best way that he can. And she says, that's fine. Whatever it is, we'll make it through. And that's what the film Soul should have actually been.
Oh.
Ouch.
Eddie. What a twist and a wow. Strong opinion there.
Well, that way, Soul would have been about music and souls as opposed to about nothing, which is what they made it.
Oh, I did not expect this opinion. That was taking us down a garden path there.
No, you know what?
I'm not sure what Eddie watched. I'm not sure what Eddie watched. Clearly wasn't what I watched.
It promised a lot, and it
delivered less. All right, you're entitled to your opinion, I guess. Let's ask you. You get a question, and you can ask a question.
by any stretch. It was good, but
okay. Sadie and Nat, you can ask Eddie a question, then of your choosing. You might take him out to dry after that.
At what point did your soul die, Eddie?
That's a good question. Good question.
Very good question.
It didn't, but at no point did my soul die. It didn't quite gel together for me in the way that I expected it to be a lot more about music, and there was very little music in a film.
But it wasn't called jazz. It was called soul.
Yeah, I know, which is why it was misleading. Because I thought it would be about soul music and a soul. I thought that was where the joke came from. But yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Animation was really nice. I liked the performances. That was all good.
Okay. Cool. All right. So it seems like there's very few characters in your prequel. When Ray dies and he is looking for his other half, is he in the great beyond looking for the other half of the soul, or the great before?
Well, he moves around the area.
You've got him.
I just kept on I forgot that there was the before and the beyond. Basically, I imagined him going through a lot of the sort of areas that we see in Soul, because they're all searching. Because when it gets pointed out that he shouldn't be there, all of the Jerrys are like, we'd better search around for the rest of the. So they have to go to all the different places that we see in the before and the after, and
like
that sort of
soul
area.
searching.
There you go, in the sort of ethereal realm. Search around for until they hear the piano being played. And
do you even know why his soul broke in half?
Because he didn't comprehend the notion that art and existence are fully intermingled. He tried to separate the two things, and doing so rent his soul in half because he was so identified with music.
So there must be like loads of half souls then.
Oh yeah, he's not unusual in that respect.
Okay.
But yeah, there'd be another kind, like all of the sort of the souls that are in Mania, and the souls. I don't think it's called Mania, and the sort of the obsessive
lost souls,
the lost souls and the obsessive souls, those kind of areas. But because there are the people floating around up the top who are sort of in the middle of a performance. We see it's like someone acting, don't we? And she's doing the balcony scene, and then they hit her in the head with a thing and stuff, all that stuff with Graham Norton bothering people, and then there's the sort of the obsession drags you down. He's up there floating around, but they obviously have to hunt him down. So
okay, there you go. All right.
All right, bring it down, Eddie. Bring it down.
Yeah, we'll move on. Then. Nat, your turn.
Okay.
Your turn, Nat.
Okay, so mine is about Mr. Mittens, the therapy cat.
So's mine.
Oh, we did this last time, I'm sure. Didn't we? We just
did you talk about cats?
Well, these both sound a treat already.
Okay. So for my Mr. Mittens, he isn't an ordinary cat. He can sense when the soul in the body he's sitting with is about to leave to go to the great beyond, or if the person is going to wake up. He often guides people to the other side if they're too scared to go, or brings them back if it's not their time. Not that his stupid owner knows this. If she did, she probably wouldn't force him to wear jumpers and harnesses. He has had several souls jump into his body over time. One even made his head spin 180 degrees and made him vomit pea soup. But each time it happens, if they haven't gone within a week or two, he contacts Jerry directly and has them come and pick up the lost soul to take them to the great beyond. This time, though, sitting on a human called Joe's bed, he senses, although it may happen again, something about this story is going to be very different. There you go.
That is lovely.
All right. Okay. So, Eddie and Sadie, you can ask Nat a question then on a film.
Oh. So has he always had the same owner?
Yes. Yeah.
Different. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I think you know, like in Doctor Sleep. Have you seen Doctor Sleep? Doctor Sleep, very good. Highly, highly recommend. Excellent film. In Doctor Sleep, there's a bit where Ewan McGregor has a job in a care home, and the cat in the care home always knows when someone is going to die, and it goes and sits on their bed. So Ewan McGregor always follows the cat and then discovers somebody who's about to die and comforts them as they're about to pass on. So I think his owner, actually, he's going to keep the same owner for as long as possible until they die, and then the cat himself is almost like a Jerry. He's not a real
immortal.
Yeah. He's just there to help souls travel into the other realm.
Is this animated?
Yes, I'd love to keep it animated because I thought that the animation in this was absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
it's pretty deep.
They did the cat storyline in an episode of House, and it turned out that it was just because the people who were closer to death asked for electric blankets, and the cat wanted to sit on the electric blanket.
Well, cats are very selfish creatures.
There's two sides to every story.
Cats are very selfish creatures, so it would not surprise me.
No, it's pretty fun.
Anyway, you selfish beast.
But I can't particularly think of a question. Is this going to be? Are we seeing the sort of ethereal, the like the moving walkway from the old like from the airport thing that they have for going to the great beyond. They have that going.
That's
from
as
the
far as
body
the cat takes them, yeah. So if they're a bit scared, that's where the cat will take them if you start with them. And then if they get there and they discover that actually it's not their time for any reason, which can happen on that conveyor belt, then he will bring them back.
Been known to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
So in that case, a quick question: how many people who should have died didn't, while Joe was in the cat's body?
That's a good question. And I think they still died, but they died on their own. So they may have ended up not finding the path. Yeah. Because essentially the cat isn't there to help them die. The cat is there to help them find their way safely to the great beyond.
Right.
So they just died because the cat can't be everywhere. So there'll be people dying all over the world.
So
Yeah.
you're saying everything was all right, really, but it was a load of paperwork for Terry.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry
He
was
wasn't
not
happy.
pleased.
No,
I mean, is there any more cats like this in the world? That's a good question as
Yeah,
well, I guess,
yeah.
isn't it? Or is it just, is there a team of them, you know?
Yeah, well, we all know that anyone who's owned a cat for longer than 5 minutes knows that they actually probably are a little bit smarter than we are, or at least a little bit more switched on.
Not all of them.
Not
That's an idiot.
You know, like they do that thing where they're looking at something that really isn't there, but they're being really intent about it, or it's almost like they can see the veils of existence being drawn back. So I think that there are many cats all around the world whose purpose it is to do this, and others like your ginger cat and my black and white one who were just lazy.
They probably need a special name. Maybe they could be called Jellicle cats.
I'm not having it.
Right.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. We'll move on. Oh, we've got a word from a bot off of Twitch. Here we go. Woo!
I do.
Oh my God! Want to become famous? We all want to become famous. Yes, please. Buy followers, brands, and viewers. Look at all the symbols, all about letters. What's going on? Crazy. Bigfollows.com. Big follows. Hey, do you want to be famous? Go to bigfollows.com.
Hey, I'm Big Follows.
It's the best advert they've ever got on a channel. Right then, okay, let's move on. Sadie, it's your turn, please, for your prequel.
Right. So my prequel is a series of Pixar shorts.
Oh, I'm already all right about that.
Called Souls. And, how many cats how many lives do cats have? Well, Mr. Mittens is lucky he wasn't out of his, obviously, because he gets to come back at the end of the film. But we get to see his previous lives before this therapy cat life. So his first one, he's a pet of a little girl who loved a bit too much. Darla's really sad about her fish dying. So she feeds it to her cat, Ozzy, who's really happy. But then she cuddles him to death. So there's a life gone. His second life, he's called Squeaker, and he lives with a little old lady. But he gets stuck up in a tree and gets rescued by Mr. Incredible, which is really cool. But then his neighbor's baby laser eyes him to death, which is really unfortunate. And then his third life, he gets run over by Lightning McQueen. Really quite annoying. His fourth life, it's got a lot of lives here. Oh yeah, his fourth life, he eats rat poison in a strange Parisian restaurant. It's very unfortunate for him. His fifth life, he lives with an old man, which is really nice until his house flies away, and which is a really bad time. It turns out to go out the cat flap. So his next life, he chokes on broccoli, which he steals off his owner's pizza after she moves to San Francisco, Riley's Pizza. Then his next life, he gets rabies from a stray dog in Mexico during Dia de los Muertos. It's really, again, a sad incident. And then he's trying to catch this adorable little pixie, but it turns out that the pixies aren't that adorable. They're like these rough bikers, and they beat the crap out of him, and he dies. But then finally, it's a nice life as a therapy cat. But then it's really upsetting to him when he's all of a sudden thrust out of his body, because he realizes that was his 9th life. But in the end, Jerry pops in, one of the Jerrys, and says, nah, it's all right. This one's on us. And he gets to go back and to be the therapy cat. But that really is his 9th life.
Yeah. Cool.
Aww.
Very good. Nice one. All right. Questions then. Nat and Eddie, go for it.
I'm very excited about how many other Pixar films we're revisiting with this. So are you going to literally have to cast all of the same voice actors from the last ones? Are they going to have the same animation theme, things like that? Or are they going to have more of a soul-looking theme and a soul-looking animation?
It's definitely... it's the Pixar universe, as it were, but each short is in the theme of that film.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's not going to take on the soul quality until that ninth life.
When Lightning McQueen runs over him, is he a little cat car? Like, is he got a little wheel?
Cat car. Oh, that's such a good thing. No, he's a proper cat.
Okay. Sorry.
That would make my film better. No.
Yeah, that would make my film better. But I don't know. I like the thought of a flat cat.
I'd like to know why on earth you think I would sit through 8 films that all end with the cat dying.
Oh, because it's enjoyable to revisit the other characters.
Yeah. And then you got the payoff with the 9th one, haven't you? Where it
I just don't know why there needs to be feel-aside at the end of everything.
Well, that's actually the whole concept, really, is that they do.
Well, true.
Having small children, this may shock you. They're really interested in death.
That's true. Yeah.
So they actually really love it.
Let's put it this way: you even mention a fine example of Pixar dealing with the concept of death. Astonishingly, two in fact. You've got Coco, but you've got Up, right? Where we're introduced to, and then and all of this stuff, and so you're going to take films that can do that and then go, a big car makes the cat all flat at the end of it. I'm just trying to work out what's
it's variety. You just have to think, and also you have to remember that that's not the end, because the bit after the credits you see the incarnation of the next life. So you have to sit through the credits. And if you've ever spent as many hours watching Pixar shorts as I have in the last week, the credits are actually longer than many of the shorts. So you have to sit through that to get that payoff of like, but he's going to come back, right? He's not really dead though, right?
I can't shake the image of. Do you know the Canadian cartoon "The Cat Came Back"?
No, we don't know your references.
No, my husband was
random.
There's
Do you know the 18th century sonnet of
cartoon? You prick! Not that old.
Do you know the works of Tim Jeffries? He wrote one book in 1872.
Are you aware of this 16th century woodcut depicting the lives of a cat?
Did not stay away.
Yes,
my husband remembers this.
Okay, yeah, all right. So it does exist, and human beings who are alive today know about it. Okay, vindicated. Thank you. There's
He's
a portion.
older than me, so.
There's a sequence in it where 9 angel cats come out of the dead body of a cat, and they're each holding a number, and it's just. I just imagine at the end of each one, just an angel cat with a 1 on it just goes up to the
definitely something I imagined happening. I mean, Cars, the flattening of the cat. Yeah, that's a bit
the flattening.
Very Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah,
it's very and kids and adults alike like that horrible anvil falling on. And plus, he survives to meow another day. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. All right, cool. I assume that was a question, Eddie. You won't really, but
I phrased it as a
you
question.
kind of just said something you wanted to talk about, and then yeah. Anyway, you do that a lot. That's fine.
It was good. It was fine.
I don't add to your bad day because you're already ridiculing the film. So let's keep going. Right, then.
I'm not ridiculing it. I'm pointing out my issues with it.
All right, okay. It was just strong off the bat. The first one, the prequel, it was strong to just go in and go, right, this film shouldn't have been made. It was quite
more
strong.
of a Requel type thing. But
Yeah. Anyway, we'll let him have his day. Right. Okay. It's time to vote. Let's get some voting done. So if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, you can put a vote in the comments for your favourite one. I'll give you a quick recap of what you've heard. I'll try to get everything down. Let's go for this then. So prequels. Eddie's was about Ray Gardner. Ray Gardner, so Joe's dad. Him and his wife, she's pregnant. So Ray has to put his career in music on side. He goes and gets a warehouse job. And he ends up being too tired to practice or perform music. Then he has an accident on a platform. He's working in a forest. He falls off a platform and goes to the afterlife. The Jerry's thought to him, but you find out basically he's lost half his soul was lost, and it's up in the afterlife, and it's playing a piano. So it rejoin, and comes back to his body, and then he begins to take up music properly. So that generally, that were it.
Yes, broadly speaking.
All right. Nats was about Mr. Mittens. He can sense souls. So he's like he goes and sits with people in hospitals, and he guides the souls. That's it. He guides the soul like he does in the film when they're dying. Guides the soul to take it away, and then his stupid owner interferes all the time, though, like she does in the film.
Jumpers, yeah.
And then what happens then?
So he has been possessed a few times, and that's absolutely fine. But usually within a week or two of the possession, the Jerry comes and takes the souls out of him because they try not to go into the afterlife. But then he gets sat on Joe's bed and he realizes that something a little bit different about Joe and something a bit different is going to happen. And then lo and behold, he does.
Yep, lovely. Leads into the film. Okay, lovely. Sadie's was so this is Pixar shorts called Souls. So you've got 8 and then the one that goes into the film. The first one is about basically different cats in each one. It's the same cat, but it's got 9 lives. The first one, it's with a girl whose fish dies. The girl feeds the fish to the cat, and then the girl cuddles the cat to death.
I can see the rabbits, George.
Yeah. Next one is called Squeaker, and it's stuck up a tree, but Mr. Incredible saves it, but then it gets lasered by the baby. Is that right? I tried to get all this down. The third life, it's run over by Lightning McQueen. That was a simple one. Fourth one, it eats rat poison in a Parisian restaurant. So, like, all these are obviously based on the Pixar films that they go with. So, Ratatouille for that one, obviously.
One of my favorite.
5, old man in his house flies away, and then the cat runs out of the cat flap and falls to its death. 6th one, Broccoli, Riley's Pizza. So, which is that? What's that?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. That's it. I forgot the name of it. Inside Out. So,
San Francisco.
So is the pizza poisoned? I think.
No, it choked on the pizza.
Choked on the pizza.
By the way, my cat does eat broccoli.
Right. Number 7, a rabid dog in Mexico bites the cat and it dies. So Coco, obviously. Then 8, the one about that's called. What's it called? The Pixie one.
Onward.
I've not seen that. So Pixie bikers batter it to death. Is that right? All right. So lots of death. You get 8 deaths, and then your 9th life is the actual film soul. Right then, let's vote. So you can vote in the comments online after what you've just heard. So Eddie, Nat, or Sadie, and we'll do a vote each in the room. Straight away, I'm going for Sadie's, the Pixar thing, Pixar multiverse.
Yeah, for me too, even though it's still about Mr. Mittens, I think it was vastly different enough to mine for me to not be voting for myself. I'm going for Sadie.
No, clever. I like the. You're voting for that.
I'm voting for Sadie as well. I like the shorts are universally wonderful. And
Cool.
They work incredibly well in that format. So
Yeah.
I would have considered the darkness of Eddie's, but it's not for a prequel.
Not for a prequel, yeah.
It's not that dark.
No, it was.
I quite like the angle of having the split souls, but it's quite good that, and you find yourself.
It's because I was utterly baffled by the idea of the spark, and they're like, oh no, the spark isn't a thing about it. That's just when you're ready to live. It just suggested that she had no great passion or great purpose. It was a very confused message to me. I didn't get it.
It was very clear because maybe it's because now I do teach and I don't spend all my time doing, pursuing my artistic flair. But my life is so.
Oh, you've put down childish things. I see.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Mr. Holland's Opus, the film. Have you seen that with Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, that's a good film.
It is a similar film, really, in the concept.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Which was a good film, yeah. But he wanted to make his opus, didn't he? And he got into teaching. He couldn't pursue what he wanted to do, and then
I feel like that the obsession. They're saying that your spark fires you, and you can be motivated by it and want to live on Earth, but there's so much to life that you can't become obsessed with that spark. That's how I feel.
I agree.
Very good. Right then, who are you voting for then, Sadie?
Mr. Mittens.
Mr. Mittens. Right, let's have a look online. We've got some votes here. Here we go. Big team. Oh, my vote for Sadie. Disney Cat Murders. As long as it has Elton John doing the songs, Can You Feel the Pulse Tonight? And so I like that. Can you feel the pulse tonight? Yeah, that's good. Like it. Very nice. Bernadine. I like that name.
Redmond.
Yeah, that's nice. Nice
Beautiful
name. Sadie's so dark but funny. Yeah. Good. And then Marie Buckingham. So I joined late. Sorry. So choice is based on the summaries, but it just it is multiple shots. Lovely.
Right. I'm based on that. I'm going to bet that Marie loves a buffet.
Why do you say that?
A small selection of many things rather than one single one.
Oh, I think I don't know if he. I don't. Is it? I think he got up on wrong side of the microphone tonight. I don't know what's.
I think she likes multiple selections of tiny things. I think she likes a high tea.
Oh, I love it.
Well, who wouldn't?
So Sadie's won the first round. Well,
shade at buffets now.
I'm just going to mute. I'll just mute him in a minute while he's. Well done, Sadie, for winning the first round.
Yeah, well
right,
done.
there we go. Right, let's move on. It's all to play for still tonight, though, as I always say. Let's move on to the sequels. Let's move on to the sequels.
I think we should have a look at. Oh, there we go.
Have you met me before? Met. That's fine.
Yeah, very good.
Oh. Right then. Okay, let's keep going. Right, in sequel time. So it's still to play for. Nat, you're going first this time. Nat, we'll mix it up a bit. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
You may start when you're ready.
Thank you. 22 has been reborn into a body, ending up in New York City, and because she was in between worlds for so long, 22 remembers everything about the after/before life.
Ooh.
22 decides to keep revisiting the before life by going into the zone and joining Moonwind to free trapped souls. Unfortunately, one day, one comes back with 22 and ends up terrorizing New York City with its evil, obsessive focus. Luckily for them, a team of paranormal investigators is available to help. So 22 and Moonwind contact them after seeing their ad on TV.
No.
Having had no one believe them for millennia, 22 loves the ad's tagline, "We're ready to believe you." And 22 says it tells all they need to know about hiring them. The 4 investigators capture the soul in a little box. The light is green, the trap is clean, and take it away, never to bother New York City again. And number 22 grows old and dies and lives happily ever after, and so on and so forth.
Wow! All right, you've played a bit of an ace card there with that one for me.
Happy 80s.
The others may say they're sequels, but I'm not sure I will like them.
All right, wait. I do have a question.
Go on, ask your questions. Ask your questions anyway.
Investigators, men or women?
Well, contentious issue for many reasons. I know that the women investigators weren't universally liked nor admired. I personally,
that was just about ethics in video games journalism, so you can shut up.
I personally enjoyed the remake, and so did my very young niece, who absolutely thought it was wonderful.
Yeah,
that ladies could run around and shoot things with shoot ghosts, and it was great for us to for once have some eye candy and see Chris Hemsworth in an absolutely pointless role, so we could just look at him. But I think because of the era I grew up in, I think it's got to be the boys. I think I can't imagine these paranormal investigators without Peter Venkman in there. So it's going to have to be the boys this time. I love the girls, but I'm going to bring the boys in.
Fair enough. Just had to know.
Well, it's going to be animated, I take it as well, innit?
No, I think I want to take this into the real world. Yeah. I want to take this into the real world.
Do we bring up the Spengler question?
If you've got a question, you can ask it if you want. If you want to ask that.
How do we tackle the presence and or absence of?
I'm deep faking him. I'm deep faking him. He's going to be in it.
Deep faking.
I'm deep faking him in. Yeah, we can't. We can't have the Ghostbusters without Harold Ramis, can we?
Okay, in that case, I have a request on top of my question. Can we deep fake it as Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters era, but have Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray from now, so it looks like Egon just has never aged?
Well, that would surprise nobody.
Just still exactly the same. Yeah.
Black don't crack. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just think that would be like, what's up? He's like, oh no, it's all the spores, molds, and fungus. He's just blended them together to create like a sort of a rejuvenating ointment.
Yeah, exactly. It's that half a slink he had to play with.
Weird.
Just kept him young. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. I'm just going to. Oh no, I've not got it. Yeah, I've just wanted to put that up a second. I had it in the bag. You could see. Had it ready. Just ready, just in case. Just in case we needed to look at it. Just in case we need it. Right then. Is there any more questions? I just keep thinking about Ghostbusters now.
Oh man.
Are we ever going to get to see this new one? Who knows?
You've been in car accidents because of that before.
Because of Ghostbusters, yeah.
Yeah, like, I was driving the wrong way down a dual carriageway. I was just thinking about Ghostbusters. I turned to the wrong turn.
Right, okay. Is there any more questions or?
Nah, that's all right.
Okay, cool. Right, we'll move on then. Sadie, it's your turn, please, for your sequel.
What's the point now? Yeah.
There's still you might you never know. You never know, do you? You never know what's gonna happen.
My sequel is called Heart.
Oh.
And we open with a hot set at a cool club in New York City. Guess who's headlining? That's right, it's Joe Gardner and the Soul Sisters. It seems Joe has really carped his diem, and he goes on stage and he gets in the zone, but only on weekends because he tutors underprivileged youths and he enjoys raindrops on roses and all that jazz. But there's one thing that's nagging him. He still hasn't gotten in touch. He hasn't had the nerve to call Lisa. And, he's been on Facebook stalking her because, he wants to see what's up with her, but he just can't get his nerve up. And his nemesis, Paul, from the barbershop, he hears Joe chatting to the barber about Lisa, and he quips, "Hey, Grandpa, why not use Quick Pick? you could see what Lisa's up to in real time. So he's like, oh, this is great. So he follows her on QuickPick, and he starts stalking her for real, but he's not very good at it, and she totally notices. He also doesn't realize that she's known ever since he started following her on QuickPick, because it's one of the features that you can see who's looked at your videos and things like that. So she's a bit freaked out, and she's relieved when she starts dating Paul because he can like protect her. So basically, Joe has driven his love into his nemesis' arms.
Oh no.
And Joe spots him on a date one day, and he decides he's going to seize the moment and he's going to explain himself to Lisa. So he follows them around until Paul drops her off at home. And Paul leaves, and Joe approaches Lisa, and she's totally freaked out. She runs away straight into traffic, gets hit by a car, ends up in the hospital, and the only way she'll survive is if she gets a new heart.
Wow.
And that's why it's called Heart.
Oh my God, that's dark.
Yeah, it's really dark. Yeah, Disney Cat Dust was my non-dark one.
Okay, right then. Questions then? Nat and Eddie can go for it. A few questions.
Will there be a bit at the end of the credits telling us whether she gets a new heart or not?
There will. There'll be a tease on that. And it will, well, I think it's going to have to go in the style of somehow 22 is going to get into her.
Right. I thought you were aiming for like Joe giving his heart to her.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought about that, but I didn't want to.
Not about that, but
That will stop a thing from happening.
Yeah, didn't want to.
Okay. Eddie, have you got a question?
Not as such. No.
Do you have a statement?
have you another
I'm withdrawing from this round to spend more time with my family.
Would you like to mention would you like to mention a cartoon from the archive? Reference from a cartoon?
I think
obscure Japanese.
Yes. No, there's a British animation called Sky Whales that you can see on YouTube.
Now we've done it.
Well, I'd like to give a plug, actually. You can actually watch. They've started uploading the real Ghostbusters cartoons on the Ghostbusters YouTube account, I noticed. And they've bought the first episode of Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, and something else up. So there you go. I'm just talking about Ghostbusters again.
Well done, Nat. He's really going to be focused on the rest of this show, isn't he?
I'm sorry.
I'll be fine after this round. Right then, lovely. Okay, Eddie, it's your turn, please.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay.
So, 22, as we suspected, is born. Deep within her unconscious is the most important lesson she ever learned. Passions and interests aren't important. She was told so by some lines. So she lives her life not enjoying anything enough to pursue it, so she's really boring. But it turns out this isn't actually quite the case. It's her innate fear of missing out has prevented her from committing to anything at all. What if she becomes a really excellent pizza chef? Will she then not be able to do watercolors properly? What if she does this? What if she can't do that? So she spends a huge amount of her life trying to taste everything, but commits to nothing. And she reaches an age where she can join in virtually any conversation. Someone says, oh, a friend of mine and I went kayaking the other day. She went, I went kayaking once for 20 minutes. I got the idea. It was fine. Okay, yeah, well, we've been going, I don't know about that. I only did it once for 20 minutes and it was fine. And so in this, she actually learns that whilst it is important not to get too obsessed to the point of exclusion of the rest of life with one thing, being essentially Toad of Toad Hall and just choosing a thing and then going, right, I've bought all the equipment to do this. Oh, sorry, I'll just do this now instead. I'm just looking behind my monitor at a lot of electronical components that I've bought and various other things, and it's hitting a bit too close to home, so I'm going to wrap this up now. But she learns to that it is okay to commit yourself to something, just understanding that it is not the be and all and end and all.
Okay, very good. Right.
So, at any point, does she ever learn that nothing lasts forever? So it's okay to like do something for a little while and then do something else?
Well, yes, it's true, but she's never given anything sufficient chance. She's just done a thing, and the initial experience, not even taken the time to work out whether it actually made her more or less happy or more or less interested than the previous thing. It's just the urge to try everything without seemingly.
So she's like on Instagram.
Essentially, yeah.
She's showing like all the things. Look what I've done. Look what I've done. Look what I've done.
She's always, her mind is always halfway to the next thing that she's got on her list, rather than experiencing the thing that she's currently doing.
All right.
She's eating a prawn cocktail while thinking about her sticky toffee pudding.
Eddie, you okay, mate?
Is that your question?
Yeah.
That's a question.
I honestly don't understand why that is a problem. I don't. What was wrong with that?
What's the thing she realizes she can commit to at the end of the movie?
Well, it's the very first thing. It's pizza. That's the only thing she's consistently shown any great commitment to. It's the first thing that Joe suggests when they're up there. Joe gives it's the first sort of positive sensation that 22 experiences on Earth when she's in Joe's body, sat in that little sort of that on the street, and the cat hygienically brings over a slice of pizza, and then Joe hygienically eats the street pizza from the cat gave him,
and then keeps the crust in his pocket as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing, is that 3 of the 5 items that 22 has in her pocket are food. There's the pizza crust, there's a bagel, there's the sycamore seed, there's the lolly, and then there's also the thread from when the suit was being altered. So, it all the clues directed towards a foodie kind of personality. To my mind, anyway. That's what clue.
But when does she commit to pizza? Like, she has it every night? I mean, what's her...
She goes on to make it, to be a pizzerist. I don't know what they're called. I don't know words. What I do know,
I'm pretty sure it's a pizzanista.
A pizzanista. Yeah, they were. Yeah,
now
they were. Yeah, the US.
A pizza artist.
The US
pizza artist. There you go.
Well, I know what.
If you're working at bloody, if you're working at Subway, that's what they call it, isn't it? Was it sandwich technician?
Sandwich artist.
Sandwich artist. Yeah.
It's arts, not science, Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she devotes her life to the wood firing of thin bread.
Okay.
How does she handle the pandemic? Is it the kind of restaurant that's takeaway, or does she lose her whole...
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Could this get any bleaker? Don't.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Once the pandemic arrives, she just hangs herself in a shower.
Oh, God.
What did you want me to answer? What did you want me to say? There's no COVID in... There's no...
Her hand to takeaway. And then put her out the outdoor eateries.
I'm pretty sure that COVID doesn't exist in any of the Pixar worlds, so I'm going to
not yet
assume they don't, and then see what happens.
It's coming. It'll be a one-word Pixar film. What about it'll just call COVID? That's all.
Called virus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. All right. There will not be any COVID in it unless Pixar get in touch and tell me to rewrite it. In which case, I'll do that. But until then, it isn't involved.
All right, then. Let's. That's all the pitches for the sequel. So we'll give you a quick recap, and you can vote online, and we'll vote in the room as well. You are.
I need to lie down. To that.
Pace yourself. You got one more round. You can go have a nap. Be all right.
I mean,
we're on schedule. We're on schedule.
I'm getting accused of like, oh, are you okay? Oh, it's so dark, all of your stuff, and I'm getting like, oh, what happens when a lethal pandemic hits in your film? I didn't say there was one. Yeah, well, there is one. What does she do about it? And I'm getting it in the neck.
Yes, and.
Yeah. Yes, and. Yeah, you should know that, Eddie. Yes, and. Should know that. It's only been doing it years.
Look what's on my desk. Look at it.
Oh, God, what are you doing with that?
Read it.
Yeah, just because it's on the desk. I've got tons of books I haven't read.
No, I haven't read it either.
Don't mean I'm intelligent.
I have read it. I'll read you a bit of advice. This sounds very difficult, but it's actually easier to sustain long scenes in this way.
Thanks.
I wish I knew what the previous sentence said.
Yeah.
That would have been really handy.
That was a punchline.
That was an assessment.
Right, let's do the voting. Okay, here we go. Sequels then. Nats was 22, is reborn in a body in New York, remembers everything about what happened before, and makes it the mission to go back and free trapped souls. An evil one runs amok, though, gets free and runs amok in New York. So you have the ultimate team up with the Ghostbusters, Peter Venkman, Egon's CGI'd, I guess, and made old or deep faked. And then number 20, they capture the evil spirit, they catch it in a trap, and then number 22 grows old.
Yeah, happily lives happily.
Cool. Okay, that was Nats.
Did you hear that, Eddie? Happily.
Happily ever after. Okay.
I didn't write 8 films about dead cats. Stop having a go at me.
I agree. Mine are all dark.
All right. Okay. Sadie's was called Heart. So Joe is playing in a club with his backing singers, the Soul Sisters. Okay. He also tutors underprivileged youths. And he's never called Lisa. He's never been able to call Lisa. Never got around to doing it. It was too chicken, I think. But Paul, his nemesis in the barbers, hears him talking to the barber guy about it, and he decides to pursue Lisa. Meanwhile, Joe starts stalking Lisa on Quick Pick. Starts stalking her. So Joe ends up driving her into Paul's arms by doing that, and then he goes around to see Lisa. Lisa freaks out. She runs into traffic, and then it finishes where she needs a new heart. Credits roll. We don't know what heart it's going to be.
It's so dark, Eddie.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
Dark.
This is yours now. This is yours, Eddie. Eddie, 22, is born. Told that deep passions and dreams aren't important from the film, I guess.
She carries that from the Soul previous.
Yeah, from the previous. Yeah. Okay.
She's got awful parents.
Yeah, she's got a fear of missing out. She can't commit to anything. She there's loads of what ifs about her life. She tries everything, so it's kind of like master of nothing in it. But what's that saying?
Jack of all trades,
master of none.
Yeah, master of none. Like Toad all, as you say. Then she learns you can commit in the end, and she decides to make pizzas before
and then hanging herself
in the shower.
That wasn't canon. That was me.
That was after. That was after his pitch, so that wasn't in the original pitch. So we'll.
After the credit.
Yeah.
That's credit.
That's on the credits. While the credits roll, you just see a swinging shadow.
Just slowly.
You got a friend in me. Right. Okay. Let's get some voting done.
And obviously, Randy, what's his name, will be doing the doing the music.
Lady swinging in the shower. She's dead.
Couldn't think
God.
of what to do, so she died. Gonna make some pizza for you, but now she's died. Yeah, it's gonna be nice with like a walking bass line on it. It's gonna be great.
It's good that it writes itself now. Right, okay, let's do some voting. We've got some votes online. That's good. Keep the votes flying in on there. I've got to vote for Nats.
Really?
I'm not ashamed to say you got me with the Ghostbusters. So, I'm easy sometimes. If you mention something I like, if I'm having a good day, I'll go, yeah. Nobody ever uses a police academy get out of jail free card on this show.
That's not true. We've used it. We used it in Jojo Rabbit. Someone used it.
Did somebody put Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, the one Steve Guttenberg thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a look at my notes.
The same, but Stephen Merchant is replaced with Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg. Okay. I've got my notes. I wonder if I could find it. Right, are we voting for guys?
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Nat as well. Why not?
Thank you, Izzy.
All right.
I mean, well, yeah. Boy Ghostbusters. Yeah, all right. I vote for Nat.
You wanted the female Ghostbusters in it, didn't you? Maybe they could be in it as well.
Really funny.
I'm struggling because both of them were quite bleak. But I've got to say that Eddie's was less bleak than Sadie's because Sadie essentially took the main character, who I was very fond of, and turned him into a mad stalker who essentially almost kills his the love of his life. And then we left on a cliffhanger. And it just felt a bit too far to go. So I'm going to vote for Eddie this time.
All right.
I think that's thank you very much. I think that's because Sadie's holding out for Two Hearts, Too Furious. Find out who provides the organ.
Right, let's have a look. We've got votes online. Marie, thank you for voting. Tough choice, but Nat's was clear winner. And a little ghost emoji as well. It's nice. Can anybody else? I can never find the emoji I want on my little pad. You know when you're going, I know what I'll do. I'll send that like a ghost then. I want to be able to find it. I'd be like 2 days trying to find that.
There's a search option.
Oh.
What? Yeah.
I didn't know. How come as well then? Answer me this. How come sometimes if you're on Facebook, it won't let you put a GIF. You know, I like doing my GIFs with like doors, people shutting doors on other people. Sometimes I think, oh yes, I'm going to put a Egon Spengler shutting a door and you're a Tom Hanks. And I can't do it. It won't let me. Anyway, it's my problem to deal with.
Did you think that the search bar was a magnifying glass emoji? Is that why you've never pressed it?
No. I know what a search bar is. I can post a comment on here and stuff. Eddie says it sounds like me. I might learn something. I
felt like it sounded a lot like me, and it was really upsetting when I hung myself. Yeah. So I didn't want to hang myself.
I think, to be honest, I think there's a little bit of that in all of us, isn't there? You know, master of all. I nearly cried when he was saying it because I recognised a lot of that in myself.
Yeah.
That's why this is the last show. We're doing too much. We're trying too much. Trying to do too much, aren't we? You know. So well done, Eddie. You've stopped the show tonight. Nat, Ghostbusters, Disney Ghostbusters.
Thank you very much.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, Disney will buy Sony, and then they'll have Disney Ghostbusters. Oh. And then they'll run that into the ground.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Who are you going to call? We've already voted, but that's fine. Another ghost emoji. Oh, emoji tip. Here we go. You just type the word that you want, e.g. ghost, and it miraculously. See, and then there's a shrugging emoji just to rub it in that they can find any emoji they want at the drop of a hat. Thank you for that tip. See, we learn stuff on this show. It's not just all about fun.
If at all.
Right, okay. Right then, all right. Nat, you got 5 on that one, so you've won that round. So,
nice.
Thank you.
So it's still all to play for. Still all to play
we
for.
said it.
Said it again. I'm going to get us all mugs with that on it. It's all to play for. It's not taking off that catchphrase, is it? Oh, I need a better one. I need like a snappy one, you know, like one that goes like rhymes. I can say it.
I think it's because we can't hear the feedback of an audience. Who said still
Why they'd all be going,
you get like a woo. It'll be like when Joey walks into the room or something.
Right. All right. We'll test it in front of a live audience.
Yeah, it'll be like your version of how you doing. You know, it'll be huge. I'm telling you, mate, it's your bazinga. I'm telling you.
Right. Okay. It's all to play for. I'll do that as well. A little bit
that was nice. I like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're not wearing a shiny suit.
Hey, careful what you wish for, because next week I might have one. I do have a shiny suit from All's Ridiculous.
I know you do. Yeah, I forgot about that. I should have known.
Next week. Right then. Okay, let's go on to the requels. We're going to start with Sadie this time to mix it up.
Right. If you guys don't like dark, I don't think you're going to like it.
I always forget, actually, every week. I better say it. So, Requel, you can reboot, you can remake, you can do what you want with this. Because sometimes people say, I don't know what that is. So, I just thought I'd explain it. But go ahead.
It is called Soulless. And, or How to Capture the Minds and Hearts of Millions While Making Billions. So, we follow the team at the fictional Fixer, and their journey to milking the moment. So this is like a sort of mockumentary behind the scenes making of Souls. So this isn't animated. This is about making the animation.
Okay.
And you get, meetings like, okay, we had one. We're going to go with a woman lead. Women are all the rage. Me too. Let's do it. And then the Black Lives Matter thing becomes all the rage. It's the thing. Nix the woman, bring in a man who knows black. All right, let's start. And they do things like they have meetings and brainstorm. Okay, so what do blacks do and like? Okay, good. Let's go for that. And they just it's really disgusting how they bring in. And they're like, okay, the cat. He's let's go with this. He's actually intersex because he's a male cat, but a calico. And everyone knows male cats, if they are more than two colors, actually have an extra X chromosome. So that'll work there. We'll bring that in. We'll get the people on board. That's good. Just all this stuff. They keep bringing in these little bits of okay, well, all right, who's in, who's out. And it's a disgusting behind the scenes. Look at how they make a touching film that everyone just loves and teaches their kids all about how to care about things or not care about things or what's important in life. But really, they just want to sell. And that's why it's soulless.
Wow. All right.
Ouch.
Very good. Yeah. Pretty spot on as well with how they run it, isn't it? It really is, unfortunately.
So will that explain when someone went, how's about we make the African American lead a white lady for a good 40% of the movie?
Yes.
Make that 70% of the movie. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But but they'll focus group that yes, but who do African American what do they like? Will they come as well? Will they feel offended by this? You know what? Let's put a barbershop in there. I know they love barbershop. Blacks love barbershops, don't they? They think it's funny. Just stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, good. Questions? Any?
I had one and then I was listening to that and it's gone.
Sorry.
No.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in a way. You've explained it quite well, so go on.
Are you going to deal with the dark subject matter by having it a mockumentary in the style of something like Spinal Tap, which is quite ridiculous and funny, or is it going to be...
Well, there's none more black, is there? There's none more black.
It'd have to... It kind of have to be. It'd have to be in that. It'd have to be, wouldn't it, in that style, else it'd be too depressing.
None more black. There you go. It's perfect.
Exactly. It's definitely dark humor. So I think more of in the style. Yeah, Spinal Tap. So those guys. So Best in Show. That kind of ridiculous. And also, I don't know if you guys saw the latest Screen Wipe from Charlie Brooker.
No.
Had some really good characters in there that I can really picture. So I think he would probably be on board to give
All right.
it that like darkness. But also, I imagine someone like what's he called, Ben Schwartz?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he would be all over, like, okay, trying to. Oh, I know, like in the Netflix one, the space agency one.
Oh,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Space Force.
Yes, so his character in that, I could definitely
Yeah.
see, like, how are we going to get this out? And they would just be capitalizing on anything. It's like, okay, how many people were at the last Black Lives Matters thing? And okay, does that outweigh the people who were at the, they would just be disgusting. Like, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
All right.
can we get Beyonce? No? How about Solange?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, like,
All right, cool. Yep. Good stuff. Any more questions?
No, I just want to know if anyone else thinks that I gave the movie a hard time.
You will have done. Once you'd been to see it, you will have done. You'd have had quite the opinion on it. That counts after you'd seen it.
I did have an opinion. Yeah.
About Disney, what can I say?
Oh no,
I hate it in equal measures.
Oh yeah. I'd like to point out I did enjoy the film. I just
Whatever.
I don't know what I expected to get from it, but
I don't know
slightly
either.
short,
Lots of music, apparently.
Music.
I wanted more music.
He wanted to learn how to play music from the film, I think.
Yeah. Well, the animation on the piano playing and the instruments is amazing.
Oh,
it's
are you going to make a reference to the Tom and Jerry cartoon that won an award where he's playing keys on keyboard? What was that called?
I don't know, nerd.
Don't know. I thought you'd have known that. I thought you'd have genuinely known that. But yeah,
No,
all right.
I can't remember.
It's awkward now. Right, we'll move on then. Eddie, it's your turn anyway now. Right, your Requel, please. I can't remember I want to remember what that was called now. I can't.
My Requel is called Soul Citizens on Patrol. No.
What?
Yeah. It's called that, but there is no further connection to the Police Academy films.
You guys,
Was it the Cat Concerto?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. What I would like is I wanted more music in it. I wanted to see more from the performances. I wanted to see more varied types. One of the things I loved about Coco, which is still my yardstick for excellence in the world of Pixar, was that obviously that was more sort of directly about music, but this is still, if you're going to have a jazz musician as your main character, there should be some music in it. And the thing I loved about Coco was that they took music from all different regions of Mexico and incorporated it together. So there's some which feature strings, and some regions don't have strings at all, but they do have accordions, and so they don't. Yeah, and so they had all of that in. I wanted to see a bit more of the different sort of genres. Not necessarily acid, otherwise we get dangerously close to Kenny G. But there's but lots of different sort of type, because we've got it was all quite sort of Miles Davis-y, which is not a problem, but there's more to jazz and more to all music than that. And
problem
also,
with Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just making my notes. Keep going. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
And also a slightly, I found it very strange in a film that they were, as Sadie was saying, that made a big deal about it being the first African American fronted sort of feature length cartoon lead and all that stuff. And then they got two blokes from the 9 Inch Nails to do the score.
Yeah, weird, right?
That struck me as very odd. I mean, these sort of 9 Inch Nails, fine, no issue with that. And in fact, both of them, Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor, have both done really good scores for all sorts of stuff. Trent Reznor did the music for the Watchmen series, and that was really, really great. But I just thought, surely they could have been.
There are a few black musicians out there.
There are plenty, yeah, absolutely.
You heard of a few of them, like the Beyonce one? Yeah,
I don't know. I know Michael Jackson was black for a bit, but other than that, I don't really. I don't know. I just don't think of music when you think of of African Americans. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
You just don't put those two things together.
What are you going to do?
So-
Connect black people in sports next?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absurd.
Honestly, no.
All right.
So that's what I would do. I would African American it score wise by about 30 or 40%, and I would increase the amount of musical performances within the film, because those bits were absolutely wonderful and a really, really high point of the film for me.
All right, cool. Any questions for Eddie then? Sadie and
Not
Nat?
for that one, actually, no.
I've done very little to it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all agree. It was a lot of talking for for
That's my style. That's why people tune in for me.
Could have been a one-liner that. Right, okay.
My entire career could have been one-liners, but no.
You don't like one-line comedians, you told me. Or music. Or musical comedians.
No, I
or
hate
musical
music.
comedians.
Oh, I hate musical comedians. I can't bear that.
Really? You don't like musical
I am
comedians?
one, sadly.
Oh.
You don't
Yeah.
like
I know
other
that.
ones. You don't like other ones.
No, I don't like any of the other ones. I only like me.
Right then, okay. Let's move on then. Nat, it's your turn.
Alrighty.
Your Requel, please.
Okay, so we all know that Pixar is one of the best animation studios in the world. That incredible scene where Joel was sat on the steps and the seed falls from the tree and you just see it come to, just stunning. But I would really like to see, beautiful, isn't it? Just beautiful. But I would really like to see what this would look like if we took this animation back to the type of animation that He-Man cartoons were made of in the 80s. So I want to see it all animated like He-Man or She-Ra from the 80s, and I want guest appearances in it by Skeletor, the Thundercats, She-Ra, and He-Man as well. And one of my prerequisites for this being made is the only way to get into the zone is to hold whatever it is that you love up in the air, be it, I mean, it'd be hard if it was a piano, but you have to do it. Or trumpet or a cake or whatever it is, and shout, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And then you're in the zone.
Good.
So that's my prerequisites. Because one of my favorite love-hate things about things like the Thundercats and He-Man is whenever they did the laugh at the end, like they do the laugh at the end.
Yeah.
Like I just love-hate it in equal measure. So I want to see Pixar step back, 80s animation step forward, same script, same storyline. But yeah, the people in the great before, instead of being Jerry's, they're like your He-Mans, your She-Ras, your Thundercats, your
Yeah.
and Terry would be Skeletor. That's what I want to see.
Okay. All right. Interesting take. Questions for Nat?
No.
I was feeling a bit nostalgic, hence Ghostbusters, hence.
I mean, it feels a little contrived to me, I'll be honest. It's as if you've it's there's a difference there with what you've done, because you've kind of just thrown everything into that one. It's not that usually I'd be on board with that. I'd be like, yeah, but I'm suspicious of that one.
No, it's all written down. Promise you, didn't.
I know. No, I'm not saying you haven't wrote it down. I'm saying I'm just suspicious of you piling them in. You had your Ghostbusters, and I'm not sure about that one, mate. Go on. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I follow Skeletor on Facebook, and he's been popping up with some absolute bangers.
Oh, Grumpy Skeletor,
Grumpy Skeletor, and he's been popping up with some absolute bangers, and they just got me thinking, if we could take away Pixar's incredible animation, what would Soul actually look like? That's what I wanted to know.
It would look like a storyboard. Like, you finished?
Yeah.
Cool. Let us know when you finish that.
I do have a question. Certainly with He-Man, there was any moral that might have been cleverly woven into the fabric of the narrative was usually just sort of exposition right at the end. So right at the end of this film, are they going to just expositionally just point out what the moral was all along, rather
Yes.
than
That's a great
rather-
Yeah.
He-Man sat on a rock. He-Man sat on a rock with the Thundercats, and he's going to tell us what the thing was. I had to bring the Thundercats in.
it is important to have hobbies, is it? I'm only going to do that. Not now, Orko. You know,
Yeah,
you need time
exactly.
for your family and your friends.
we
Oh,
have
I
to
guess
have
we
the-
do.
We have to have the Thundercats in it because there's Mr. Mittens. So I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
not have a cat.
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Be
Right.
played
Then
by
I
Lion,
thought,
or-
if we're going to bring in any cats who make animation, it's got Thundercats on it.
All right.
So, but yeah, obviously at the end they're going to be sat on a rock and tell you exactly the point of the film, and then
If
they're
you
all going to
can't-
finish with a laugh.
By the way, now, if you can't get the Thundercats, you can always get Catra from She-Ra. If the Thundercats are somehow unavailable. But
He's off again. He's off again.
He's doing it again.
Shh.
Your cartoon reference.
Pretend you haven't noticed.
Don't
Keep
encourage
going.
him. Don't
I
encourage
thought
him.
that was a good suggestion.
And you
going.
all wonder why my pre-series have been getting darker of late.
We're the main characters ourselves. He's putting us in and killing us off. Oh my god. It's all becoming clear.
I'm doing voodoo scripts.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Right. Let's do some voting then. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Right. So don't forget you can vote online. I'll give you a quick recap though as we go. Here we go. Let's do this. So Requels, Sadie's was called Soulless. It's a company. Well, you said it was called Fixar, but it could just be Pixar anyway, couldn't it? Really?
Oh yeah, I just like to change the main names.
Yeah.
I don't know why, just because it's fun for me.
All right then, Pixar. There we go. It's basically it's a making of how they make the film, but it actually it takes into account all the latest things kind of in vogue, I guess. So they're playing it by numbers. They want to know the demographics. They're playing everything by like bean counters. It's really a horrible way to market and actually put stuff in the film. You know what's
Like
on
the
trend at the
pizza
moment.
is going to be a brand pizza. Like it's like,
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
yeah, it's all going to be. So the most basically they just want to make as much money as they can out of this film, and the sell. Let's pull on the heartstrings to get people investing in the film. Or all these little tricks they use to get it. It's going to be a bit like Spinal Tap, and it's got Ben Schwartz in it. There you go. Eddie's was just the same, but he wanted more jazz music in it, proper jazz music by proper jazz artists, I guess, rather than no jazz music at all in the film that's about jazz.
The people who play,
You have got a point. He plays the piano like twice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even the montage bit isn't that long. You think?
No. And
Yeah,
I
all
would
right.
like to say that the people who did play on the soundtrack were great. That was
Yeah.
really, really cool. And it all sounded wonderful. So yeah, more of that, please.
Mm.
Don't tease me with
And you made references to Coco, obviously, which did come out obviously before this, and was dealing with. You're right, in a way. It was
very
dealing
similar
with music in a way that.
music and death.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I wonder how long it were in production. So I wonder if they had the idea before.
But Coco
Coco.
was in production for a long time too. I mean,
I'm just wondering. Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Anyway, Nats was.
what's better, Coco or the Book of Life?
I've not seen the Book of Life.
You didn't see the Book of Life.
I've heard it's excellent, but I've not seen
Really
it yet.
It was very good.
Cool. All
Sorry.
right. I've not seen it. I've not seen it either, so I can't comment.
They began
I was-
developing.
I was
Soul
thinking,
in
what's that dragon film
2016.
called? How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know why I was thinking of that one.
Oh,
I just thought of that. I think it's good, but it's got naught to do with what we're talking about. Sometimes I'll do that. It's fine. Nat's Requel
I
was
really like A Matter of Life and Death. Nothing to do
Stitches
with
and Kane. Now there's a film. Right. Nats was He-Man style. You've got Thundercats in there. Every time they have a moment, they've got to hold up the thing they're interested in and say, by the power of Grayskull, all 80s style animation.
Mhm.
Filmation. Filmation was the company who used to do all that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just to answer your question, Coco went into was first pitched as an idea in 2010. Soul was 2016 when it went to production. So yeah, Coco was way before.
All right, cool. Nice one. Right, let's get some voting done then. So vote online for your favourite one, and then we'll vote in here as well. It's all to play for still tonight. Come on. All to play for. Sorry, all to play. Oh, I can't do it.
You've not got the arms right.
I've done it wrong way. Is that the wrong way?
Overthinking your arms.
We're that way.
There you
it's all
go.
to play for.
No.
It's not got the... No. I'll give that.
You can't overthink these things,
vote
Chris.
for Eddie's because I did really enjoy the film, and I feel like my children really enjoyed it. So if they had that same aesthetic, we would all be very happy. Plus, we get to talk more about like the history of like black music.
Jazz.
And my kids are really into that. So
yeah, makes sense. Good.
Even the bit when his dad takes him to a jazz club. It's like 4 seconds. You are start playing, and then he just dissolves back.
You have hit on a really good point with this. Joking aside, there isn't a lot of jazz music references or anything in it. So like you just said, Sadie, people could take that on board and go, "Oh, do you know what? I would like to find out a bit more about jazz music." And there is not really any. I'm going to vote for Eddie's as well. Yeah, I'm going to vote for yours.
Says this is one of the greatest contributions to America that black people have ever made, or contributions to the world. And then we're not allowed to hear any of it. We just have to go, all right, then fine, I believe you. But yeah, well, I'm actually going to vote for Sadie's because that sounds. I always like a nice satire of the
documentary.
The mockumentary.
That's why I'm
turgid yogurt of corporate America.
I was going to vote for yours as well, but then I was thinking about the music, so we're going to pick Eddie's. I'm stuck.
I like them both.
Tricky on that. I do as well.
A lot. I think Eddie's got a very valid point, but I'm going to vote for Sadie's because I think that's the way the world really works.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look online. Let's see what we've got. Eddie, as long as Kenny G can have a cameo.
Go on, Eddie, give him a cameo.
To be honest, actually, if both mine and Sadie's were made, then there would be some white accountant in Sadie's going, that Kenny G guy, he's real swell. Maybe he'd like to be in the movie. Totally. So it might end up.
He's in Trolls World Tour, basically. And he's in SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, both of those.
Right,
so he's in 2 animated films already.
Oh, so he could do it. He's all right.
So I mean, there's a precedence there for it.
Sounds like he'll work for scale.
Maybe so. Right, let's see what else we got. Marie, I have the power to vote. I like that for the nostalgia. Would genuinely like to see that animated. Maybe they could add animated Fraggle.
Oh yes, for you, Marie. For you, Marie.
Thank you. Those scenes where you're watching an animation and then they cut out to like non-animated bits, so like Fraggles be like watching it like goggle boxing, like
yeah.
And Statler and Waldorf in the background going, hey, what the hell's this?
That's like a very
cool. One more vote then. Sadie's vote says it will be fun of cynical jokes. Sounds like a bit like the Emoji Movie, but I have to say it would be good to see Nat's Thundercats on the big screen. I mean, I don't know if it'd go on the big screen, Nats, Come on. I don't know about that. We'd have to discuss that. I don't know if it'd be screen enough for that. I don't know. Might be a special at Christmas.
There's something about all of these that just stinks straight to streaming, isn't there?
Yeah. That's the way to go at the moment. I mean,
yeah, true.
That's the gold standard. So
yeah. It's now nothing's good. If somebody's
Plus.
I've still got my cinema vouchers from 2 years ago that I haven't used. There's 30 quid's worth of vouchers there. I'm not messing about,
It's too
Get it together, man.
Also got a restaurant voucher I can't use as well. It's stacking up. I'm just going to have a load of cards. First day, I'm going to be straight cinema. I'm going to have them all in my thing, like a Rolodex of credit cards.
All of these companies that haven't had any money for months, and you turn up with a voucher.
Still valid, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, we've kept our jobs throughout the whole thing, and you're like, I'll have all of that for free, please.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're gonna shut doors before I get there. They'll see me walking with my voucher, going, "Come in."
Management just weeping.
Yeah. Oh no. You do realise, sir, if you don't pay for your ticket today, we're going to lay off a staff member. It's a price I'm prepared to make.
I don't see anything written on my voucher about that, mate.
Yeah. Save your souls. Right then. Let's have a look then. At the end of that round, we've got a tie break situation. We don't have tie breaks on the show. Sadie and Eddie, you've both got 3 points at the end of that round, which means overall tonight, because Sadie won the first round, you are our winner this evening, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what do I win?
You win the honour of me drawing out what I'm saying as long as I can. And you get to come back as many times as you want on the show until you say I've had enough.
You win a voucher for a company that went out of business.
You get the choice to never answer my messages again when I ask you to come back on the show if you want. That's you get out of jail free card.
I light up with glee when I see your messages.
Oh, give over, you sweetheart.
I do though. It's so
We don't.
Yeah, they don't. They're used to it. They go, oh God, what does he want now? So that's lovely. Thank you so much.
With Glee, but then I remember that Glee is full of like dead kids and paedophiles now. So,
God. And on that bombshell, at the end of the show,
Thank you. I'm so pleased that you were in such a good mood.
He just can't stay away from the darkness, can he? Tonight, we're just about to wrap up the show, and he says that anyway.
I was Slayer earlier. Maybe that did it.
Yeah. So well done for winning tonight, Sadie. Thank you for joining us. As always, you're always welcome on the show. That's it. Bit of a round of applause there.
Great film choices.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another great choice. So think of another. You can come back. You can come back and do another one next time. It wasn't your choice, this.
Oh, Adam picked it.
Oh, well, congrats to Adam. Well done. Mm-hmm. You've won a point for picking the film.
Sex in the City too.
Oh my god. Luckily it's a sequel, we can't do it.
Yeah.
Luckily. Whoo, that saved the skin. Have you got anything you'd like to tell anybody about, like to plug or anything?
No, not at the moment. Just working on Lockdown, and hopefully in the distant future, I will release my Lockdown diaries. No, just kidding.
Oh.
Never will that happen.
Samuel Pepys stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Nothing you want to tell anybody about then? No? That's all right. You don't have to. All right, cool. Thank you very much, obviously, for coming on the show again. Natalie, have you got anything?
I haven't done it yet. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I haven't done it. Nobody
will be on YouTube by the time you've done your channel. They'll all be back in the real world. They'll be like, spent
it's your own time you're wasting, Smeaton.
I'm a very busy person.
Can you not even give us the name of the channel now? Are you not even
had a week off?
I know, but I was doing stuff in it.
Has she had a week off? I didn't know.
Yeah, I had a week off.
You didn't mention
I had a week off.
Never mentioned it.
Most of it was spent going to tip. So, I tell you what.
Tip on your week off.
I tell you what, though, I did have a week off.
Losing a signal.
She's gone.
Yeah, you all froze then.
Well,
we froze. We're
we're 3 against 1 froze. Yeah. Are you on the other internet tonight?
On to the internet? No, I'm on normal internet.
All right, Eddie, have you got anything to plug? Yeah, you're the week off.
Oh, hi, baby.
Silly fuss. Same as always, we've got IC News podcast, and that's out every Saturday. Fire Breathing Kittens, I forget what day that comes out, but that's a 5th edition D&D adventure podcast, fun for the whole family, and it is family friendly, that one. And also the Discount Comedy Checkout Improv Show, which is our new podcast, which we release every Friday at 8 a.m. It should turn up in your podcast app by about 9 o'clock every Friday morning. So go there and subscribe to it. We've on Friday just gone, we have the first episode of Series 2 out. So Series 1 was released all in one go a week ago. So we'll put actually I'll put a link in the comments right now, and that way you'll be able to do that. So, Chris, you do your wrappings up, and
cool. Right then, lovely stuff. As far as I'm concerned, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I've got my radio show. What's the score? Play soundtrack music, movie scores for everybody. You can request songs. I want requests every week for that, so keep those coming in. I've got some regular listeners now who do request songs. I don't have to make them up all the time, which is great. This is for Frank, who's requested Goonies again.
Beneath my wing.
Yeah. So that's nice. That's lovely. That's 8:00 on Box Office Radio. Saturday night, it's All Geek to Me with Rich and Nath. We do a bit of a geek chat show. This week we're doing a retrospective on Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So have a look out for that one. And then other than that, we'll be back next week for another one of these. Monday night, 8:00. We're doing Stir Crazy next week. Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor. The guest is Catherine Young. So there we go. So join us for that 8:00. On behalf of all of us, though, thank you very much for tuning in tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. It's been lovely. Thanks for your comments as well and your votes. We appreciate that. Thank you again to our lovely guest, Sadie. Thank you for coming on. Again, you're welcome anytime. Pick another film you come back on if you want to. That'd be great. But that's it from all of us. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Have a look in the comments. It's there, Anchor FM.
Have a look in the comments there. That's our ones. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Right, wave, smile and wave, everybody. Smile and wave. Thank you. Night-night.